Story time, story time. Alright, so this takes place at Lebanon Correctional. Everyone knows this place is fucking flooded, and it's any type of party material that you want. It's here for very cheap. It's got its own kind of black market. Alright, so I'm gonna get into this story time about how I lost the pack, found it. Shit was annoying. Let's break it down. Alright, so when I was in K King, there was this dude who lived in H Henry, and we went to school together. I still don't know his name, but he was this young ass black kid, HF, Heartless Feelings. He's from Cleveland and shit. And like I said, we didn't know each other's name, but we knew each other by face. We would give each other a set time to meet at medical, chow hall, school, meet me in the hallway, go to rec, go meet me on the yard, shit like that. We would do that a lot. And we had this thing going because he knew I didn't smoke. I did other things, like I smoked trees, I drank, wine, and I did my main DOC, which is the orange thing that you pretty much feel like you gotta have every day. And if you know what I'm talking about, cool. If you know, you know. If not, whatever. So he didn't care that I had that habit because he knew everybody knew that I had my own thing going and I was keeping it going as far as my family, taking care of everything, and my job in the fucking chow hall. So I was able to juggle everything. But then all of a sudden he's like, shit, since you don't smoke, I just want to let you know. He's like, I got my own thing going. And this dude had sheets and sheets of the paper that people, what I'm saying, they want for certain reasons. Cartoons. So they used at that time, IDs was one of the ways. They would break it from an MAID was the size all the way down to a face. And then they would go to like quarters, apes, halves, faces. But an ID was pretty much like the threshold of where it stopped. From that and below was average. Anything above that, you pretty much had to pack. Now, I don't know how many IDs are in a page, but just off, I don't know, 15 maybe, I think it is. Someone else might know, but it does. That's kind of irrelevant. Okay, so he gives me an ID just to see what I can do with it. And I go back and the shit's different. It's baby blue, and I'm the only one in my block with it. So my bunkie, height, he was a cool dude, uh, white dude. He had like a tiny little bit of like a speech impediment. I don't even really know if I'd call it that. Oh, Tourette's. My bad, y'all. My bad. He had fucking Tourette's, but not the kind that you cuss. It was the kind where he would make audible sounds without meaning to, and he made strange faces. Plus, when he talked, he had like a little bit of a lisp. But he was a cool ass dude. Nobody made fun of him, and he'll get there for sure. This dude, he wasn't like the best fighter, but he wasn't afraid of nobody, and everybody knew that. And he'll go in there and get his ass beat. He didn't give a fuck. So I liked him for that. He stood up for himself. He was a good bunkie to have. Actually, I got some other story times involving me and him living together that, involve us protecting our house, living in that cell together. All right. So all that's taking place and shit. I let him do a tester. Somebody else do a tester. I look out and a minute later, dude's in the day room, not nodding out, but zoned out and kind of like trying to like sit up straight. My bunkie, he's got a high tolerance, but he ain't doing that. But he's laughing and smiling, and he keeps trying to say shit to me, and it's coming out as mumbles. So at this point, I'm like, okay, yeah, this shit's some gas. So I start telling people, boom, I off it. That day, the next day, by the next day, I already had sent dude his money. I already kept my money, and I'm hollering at him again. Okay, now look, this is where shit gets fucked up. The second one he gives me, right? I go home. I'm changing clothes and shit, and I can't find it. So I freak out on my bunkie. Like I'm like, bro, I'm like, it's just me and you in here. Where the fuck's my shit? You know what I'm saying? So we're talking now. I go to check in the little slit that I had cut in my basketball shorts. It was a tiny bit wider than it usually was. So now I'm putting my finger in there going, okay, it could have loosened up and came out, right? And he's the one who pointed that out. Like, he showed me, like, where was it? I'm like, it should be right here. So at this point, I'm like, all right, and I don't know. I just believed him. Like, I'm good with reading body language, and for some reason, I really believed him. I'm like, okay. And he wasn't rocked out of his mind like he would have been, because he was really addicted to this shit, y'all. And I feel like if he had my shit, he would have been just, I could have probably tell, but he wasn't even. acting like he was sober that night. So I'm just salty, right? So now I gotta pay dude. So I call him, I get that shit taken care of. It's fucked up. I let my mom, my brother, and my girl know what just happened. They all pitch in a little bit. I pay. Whether they believed it or not, I don't know. But they knew they co-signed for a lot of my bullshit. This time I really wasn't lying. So I go in there, I'm talking to dude, I'm telling him like, yeah, bro, the money's there. I got you. I'm like, but I fucked up, and lost it. And he's like, you lost it. And he's like, I don't care because you paid me and shit. He's like, but I'm waiting to get some more. I'll let you know. And I'm like, yeah, here we go. Like I already knew because he was, he was fronting this shit. Instead of me putting my own money up to grab it like I could have, the whole point of it was I had a habit. I was doing what I was doing. This was my side thing. Also, I had a job in a chow hall. So now I'm asking for money from my family. I'm stealing food out the kitchen to support my habit. Now I have a second thing as a little side hustle. So I wasn't gonna put my money into buying this shit, whether it's lucrative or not. It just wasn't something I was gonna do. I was doing this because he was putting it on front and making it a lot easier. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. He don't believe me. Whatever. We drop it because now I see that he's avoiding giving me more. I'm pissed though. So I'm just laying in my rack, just thinking and thinking. Right. Well, the next day or the day after, we go to sweep, and I'm fucking sweeping and shit, and I get up under the bunk, and something comes flying out, and I immediately recognize it. It's the bag that I had it tied up in, real, probably like the size of a nickel, maybe, with everything in there. So I'm fucking like ecstatic, but I'm like what the fuck? And me and him are just looking at each other. So I grab it. I start apologizing to him. I'm in such a good mood and happy that I just found this and it's paid for. Break him off a chunk. Here, bro. He's like, hell yeah. He's all excited. I'm just in such a good mood because now everything's back to school. But what's crazy is I get under there. Now, mind you, there's many, many, many days that me and this dude had wanted to have some OJ, you know, and we couldn't, hanging out with them strippers, if you know, you know. And we couldn't find none, or we couldn't afford none, or whatever. And we were just laying there, kind of wishing we had it, because your body will start telling you that second day. The first day, so much, whatever, but that second day, you feel like you need it. We get up under. I'm like curious, so I sweep everything out. I'm like, how the fuck did we not know this was under here, right? And a fucking 16th came out. And at that time, they were only 450. You know what I'm saying? They were only going for 450. And the highest I ever seen them go up to was like $7 when there was like a drop. But it was crazy because it came out. Me and him split it real quick. We had already did some shit that day, but it came out. I chopped it with a razor. Gave me the other piece. It's crazy how people put that shit in their eyeball, but they do. That was on the ground. I wasn't putting that in my fucking eyeball. So I sniffed it, which it's nasty. You know what I'm saying? Just thinking about the fact that that was on the ground is nasty. But he put the shit in his eyeball. Like he did the same thing. There's that shit's nuts. That dude was a crazy motherfucker. He was like one of them I can't explain it, but he was like a solid dude, white dude. He wasn't afraid of fighting shit, but he was kind of like grungy. Like he had real long hair. He didn't give a fuck like what he looked like. You know what I'm saying? It's the best word was probably like grungy. But he was a cool dude to live with. And like I said, I'm gonna do some story times about how we had to protect our house one time, and it was over a batch of wine, and it was me and him against two people who were coming talking shit, but they ended up crashing us out because they ended up standing in the doorway running their mouth. And I tried to grab dude and yank him in the door, and he like instead of coming in and fighting us, he still stayed out there running his mouth and was like trying to like do this and shit in the doorway, and we ended up getting caught and they locked us down. We didn't go to the hole, but they just slammed our door, and it was during day room. And actually, that's the one dude, the Latin King dude, that I ended up TK that I ended up punching on later on down the line for an unrelated thing, which I've done that story time with my conduct reports and shit. So yeah, I just wanted to tell y'all about this. I don't know what popped in my mind. I know y'all like these Lebanon prison stories. The time I lost the pack and found it again. Shit was crazy. And something extra up under there. So I'm gonna make some more videos right now. Stay safe, stay free, stay blessed.